everyone. Can you guys hear me? Well, welcome and thanks for coming. Tonight's talk is going to be about job search and interview prepping. It's hosted actually by two meetup groups tonight. So tonight we have here people from Women Who Code. Raise your hand if you're part of Women Who Code. I don't see any men raising their hand. Okay, and then we also have Palo Alto iOS developers, which is a co-ed group. So Women Who Code is a pretty large nonprofit organization that's global. I think right now we have about 60,000 members globally. And in the Bay Area, we have about half of them. So this group specifically is Women Who Code Silicon Valley chapter. And please check out our meetup page. We have various events and talks going on pretty regularly. Not just about iOS, but also machine learning, Android, and whatnot. And then Palo Alto iOS developers is a co-ed group. We actually have two parts to the group. One is called Palo Alto iOS developers, which is probably how you found this event. We hold technical talks about once a month on various iOS topics, from tvOS, watchOS, to the one tonight. And then we also have a separate group held by the same leaders. It's called Palo Alto iOS Study Group, is that what it's called? Yeah, so we meet in Palo Alto once a week, every Tuesday, in kind of a more intimate setting, informal, and people come and just kind of code together and help each other troubleshoot and whatnot. So tonight's host is Akamai. So we want to thank them for the wonderful space and the delicious food. This is Deji, and he's gonna just tell you a little bit about Akamai.
Thank you very much. Welcome. My name is Deji Mabaganji. I work on the recruiting team, actually Cambridge-based, but happen to be in town this week for a few events, and glad to meet some of you guys and welcome you to our space. We do this a lot in Cambridge as part of the community event, just to welcome you folks and give you a chance to network, meet, and talk, and hopefully spark some ideas. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't guessed, we have the Wi-Fi code on the board there if you need to make access or connect. Bathrooms are down to the hall and to the left. So just a quick show of hands. I'm curious how many folks are aware of who and what Akamai does. Okay, it's about 4 or 5, maybe 6. I think we have to do a little more work on the branding side. All right, so I came in and I've been exactly. So our tagline is "We make the internet fast, reliable, and secure." And that's ambiguous, and folks may wonder what the hell does that mean. Akamai's been in business since 1998. We're actually known in the business as a CDN, Content Delivery Network. And so at any given time, between 15 and 30% on the high end of the world web traffic flies through the system. So we are responsible for getting you the content you see on the web, right? For streaming content, if you're watching videos or clips or CNN or anything along those lines. If you're making purchases, a lot of financial clients use us as a backbone for their delivery, and a whole host of things. So given the evolution of our platform, we've actually conveyed into the security space. Actually a place that is doing fantastic right now. As I'm sure you're aware, security is a very, very scary place. So we have our web application firewall, we have our DDoS protection tools, and a whole host of other things. We are in an extreme growth mode right now, doing a lot of acquisitions. I think we've done 2 this quarter, as well as organic growth within the company, hiring in a lot of different divisions. So a big focus on the media side of the house, security, performance, big data, and we do have a mobile group, which fortunately is mostly based in Cambridge. And it's more or less a little bit of a startup within the company. But talking with Ampy and the opportunity to chat with you guys, I certainly would encourage you to take a look at our website. I have some members of my team who've been ushering people in and they're exhausted from doing a lot of recruiting and talking to people across the board, across the company, different locations. We're global, about 6,500 people right now. And you think about the big events that have happened, Olympics, election, anything along those lines, Akamai is getting you that content. We're not a household name, but we're really making the internet do the things that you know it to do. And if you unplug Akamai from the world, you get a very different reaction on how the internet looks today. So I encourage you, please take a look at the site. There's a lot of information out there, and so we've been in business for a while, and a lot of innovation that's going on right now in the company. Perfect. I will be around through the event. I'm flying back to Boston tomorrow, but happy to talk to anybody about any interesting opportunities or things that are of focus. And welcome back to our pizza party. We'll do this again, hopefully, and we'll take it from there. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. So happy to see so many faces here. So this event tonight is the way Shirley and Kenneth and I, we were just like on Google Hangout one night, and we're like, oh, what are we gonna do? And then, you know, as how these things go, you start talking about, so what are you doing? And then talk about, oh, you know, someone just started a new job and someone's doing a job search. And then you start, before you know it, the time that you're supposed to be thinking of a meetup title is taken up by, you know, it's like, oh, you know, all these things about interviewing and how difficult and how lonely and how it's just, you know, it's like overwhelming. And so then we started talking about, well, why don't we just, you know, make this our event? And kind of, I'm sure if we're going through this, a whole bunch of people are also going through the same thing. And so as software engineers, you're going through something that's a little bit difficult, you have a problem, what do? You figure where you can get help. So to start us off with a job search, we have a technical recruiter from Yahoo's mobile team, and he's gonna tell us how to spruce up that resume, because it really is the starting point of the whole job search. Please welcome Carl Kenny.
So hi everybody, I was supposed to be presenting today with my colleague Bushra, but she's not here. So I'm just going to use this more as a question and answer session with everybody. I know building your resume is one of the most important things when it comes to looking for a job. And as a recruiter, I go through thousands of resumes every day, and I see 9 out of 10 resumes are really poorly written. And one of the reasons why is because people don't spend enough time on researching resumes. They do a lot of time, spend a lot of time researching the technologies and things like that, but they don't really spend time in researching formats of resumes and what they need to present and how they need to present. Many times we see a lot of grammatical errors in resumes. As hiring managers, our hiring managers normally look for resumes which are short, to the point, because they want to see your presentation skills. And the resume is typically the first point or your entrance into a company. So if you do a bad job with your resume, you're most likely not going to get a call back. So it's very important that you focus a lot of attention on your resume. Send it to some of your friends, ask them for their feedback. What do they think about it? And if there are any changes that you need to make, ask them for their suggestions on how they do it. So I'm just going to go through the basic format of the resume, just so that everybody's clear about how a technical resume should be written for like mobile developers. And the first thing would be the summary. The summary normally in a resume should be 5 to 8 lines and not like a one-page summary. It should focus on what you've done recently in the last 2 years, what skills you bring to the table when it comes to that particular client, as to, you have to match your skills to what the client's needs are. And, if you're an iOS developer, they want to see how much experience you have with, say, Objective-C or Swift, and how that skill basically matches up with, what their needs are. So if you have like developed an app, if you can share some information about that app in the core skills, how you work with teams, what kind of design methodologies you use, things like that, and also what about communication or something unique about yourself can be added in your summary. The second most important thing is your education. The education basically, you start with your highest degree, like, if you have a PhD, you start with that, followed with your master's, and then your bachelor's. If you don't have education, then you can emphasize on other skills you've done, like certificates and things like that, which can add value to a company. The third skill would be technical skills, and these are the skills that you currently use and are more relevant to the job that you're applying for. Don't write about skills that you worked with like 10 years ago, because the managers really don't care about that, and it kind of shows that you're kind of not too current with the present circumstances. So you want to make sure that you write about the current skills that you have, and which will catch people's attention. The next thing will be your experience, which is the core part of your resume. You want to make sure that you're writing the company name that you're working for, the dates you worked over there, their location, because many times hiring managers will cross-reference your experience with their contacts. And what happens is, if they have a contact in a particular company, they prefer to call that person and they find out as to what they know about you. Basically, they want to learn more about you without talking to you first. And if they do a cross-reference, many times I see managers rejecting candidates because they heard from somebody that this person was not good. Or on the other hand, they want to hire a candidate even before they've seen the candidate, because they heard a good thing about this candidate from an old colleague of theirs who works in that company that the candidate came from. So your references, the team. So anytime you leave a company, make sure you don't burn your bridges, because this is a very small community of people and everybody talks to each other. So you never know when your paths will meet again. The other thing about experience is you want to write about the most current apps that you're working on and how you're contributing to those apps. Basically, you don't want to write about what the entire team is doing, because what the manager is really looking for is your role in the team, and not what the team is doing. They are interested in knowing what the team is doing, but that's something that they can cover during the interview with you. But they want to see how your skills transfer to their project, basically, and how they could use your skills right away in their team. So that's an important thing. Any links to apps, or like people have pictures of apps, if you could put that on your resume, that really brings out your resume and makes it kind of unique, because a lot of managers want to see how well your resume is designed. And the other thing is, if you have a link to the app that you're developing, you can put that on your resume, because the managers like to click on that app. They also want to see a GitHub link, because they like to click on GitHub and see your code, the type of code you share, how active you are in the community, how well you work with the teams. And then the additional skills and interest is like outside of work. If you do for people who are transferring into a particular skill, like if you're not a mobile app developer and you're in another skill and you're doing like mobile app development on the side, if you want to put some information about that they are also willing to look at it, because again, what they're really looking for is your creativity and how you design your app. They don't really care about how many users you have, how many people have downloaded your app. I mean, that's also good. Like, if you have a lot of people who have downloaded the app, that's great. But they also want to check on, how flash, like how it looks basically, how presentable it is. Then the last point would be basically, if you have other talents, you want to write about those talents which may kind of interest people. Everybody has a unique talent outside of their work, and if they have something that is of interest to people, you should definitely put it on your resume. The next topic I want to talk about is the keywords on your resume. You want to think about the keywords that would attract make your resume very attractive to the hiring manager. So think about the latest technologies that you're working on, which are unique and not just Objective-C or Swift. Any other skills which are new and upcoming, which can catch the eye of the employer. You want to put those skills on your resume. The other thing is, if you have any blogs and you are active in the community, you want to put those information about the blogs on your resume, because again, that's another chance you get to basically expose yourself to the hiring manager, where they can check a little more about you and understand you. Another important thing is matching your resume with your LinkedIn profile, because many times managers will do a social media check. They will check your Facebook, they will check your Twitter, what kind of activity you have, and so you want to make sure everything is in line and everything is focused, and it's not like your LinkedIn says something about you and your resume has a different story, because that is a red flag. And so all these little things basically help, and you want to be cognizant of all these facts when you write your resume. I mean, this is the gist of what I wanted to talk about, but I would like to answer any specific questions you guys have about resume writing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. My name is Pavni. I'm currently a student at San Jose State University, but I worked for 3 years prior to my master's, and I don't know if it's exactly relevant to my job search right now, but I don't know if I should put it in my resume or leave it out. It's always been like something I don't understand.
No, I definitely suggest that you should put it on your resume, because if you have experience like back in India or before you started your master's, it at least shows that you have worked in a professional environment, and that's what people want to see is, like, if you have experience working in a professional environment, then it's easier for you to get into the main, integrate with teams and learn and things like that. So that is important. You should definitely have that on your resume. You're welcome. Yes.
You're looking to, I guess, pivot in your career. So you want to move to something like, let's say you are moving into mobile engineering, or you would like to.
Right.
How would you, are there kind of a few different points or pieces of advice that you would give specifically for that on your resume to kind of emphasize, hey, this is what I'm interested in, and I do have experience even if it's not professional?
Right. So, with mobile apps, it's kind of easy to develop your own mobile apps and publish them on the App Store. So, if you do something like that, that is a positive, step in the right direction. Basically, that kind of gives the managers an idea that you are interested. You want to show something on your resume which shows that you are learning, and you can add value as soon as you join, basically. Because everybody, when they're hiring people, they want somebody who can start contributing right away, rather than somebody who is going to be a trainee. Because to train people, they rather go with interns than go with a new hire. But the other way would be to make a move within your own company that you're working. If they have a good mobile team, look at opportunities over there because you already, proven yourself within that company, and they may be more open to giving you a shot over there. Any other questions?
So I just want to learn that, for instance, I want to give an example for my background side. I have 16 years for software development in military area using ADA or C. But right now in San Jose, for the defense company, they are looking for security clearance. For that reason, I changed my direction to my hobby side, mobile iOS development. So do you suggest me to mention in my resume about my background side, for instance, research lab, 16 years together with using ADA, radar, electronic warfare, background, something like that, because they are totally different, not in the same direction. Maybe
Understand.
they are totally different size area. So
Right.
do you suggest me to mention about my background side for at least 15 years background?
I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest like writing maybe 4 or 5 lines about that, but not too much, so that it's not a major part of your resume. The major part of your resume should be like if you're doing mobile development, what you've done in the mobile side, because as I said, it's all about how you can contribute tomorrow to the team, not what you've done like 15 years ago. And since that technical background is good, you can talk about it during the technical interview, and that's going to help you during the technical interview. But presenting it on your resume right away kind of helps sometimes, hiring managers shy away, saying that, I don't think this person is going to integrate well because his experience is not relevant with, what our team is doing right now. So you can put it on your resume, but don't make too much emphasis of it, because that's not what you're trying to market basically. You're trying to market your mobile self basically.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Yes.
How much importance do you give to like GitHub contributions or publish?
A lot.
Okay.
The hiring managers normally like to check the GitHub,
Okay.
and so they evaluate your code over there on GitHub. That's like one of the best things for you to do is put some good code over there, because they definitely check that. Any other questions? Okay.
Thanks, Kenny. So our next presenter has this very unique product. And for some of us who are in a state of wondering, especially if you're like transitioning or just kind of trying to figure out, do I want to stay doing the same thing that I've been doing for the past 2 years, 3 years? There's something that seems more exciting over here, or should I start looking into some other areas, related areas? I've been working with the back-end team for a while. Should I start looking into that? So these are questions that we sometimes face, and our speaker tonight has, like I said, this unique product that can help us kind of figure all that out. Cassia is from uncommon.co, and she's here to showcase her product.
So I wouldn't say our product is unique. I'd say it's very uncommon, actually. put $1 in a jar every time somebody adds like a joke like that in. Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be here. My name is Kasha, and I actually, it's the stretching. See how I can resize this. Okay, it's a little bit cut off. I'll give that feedback to our engineers. All right, and on a very large screen. So I'm Kasha, and I lead operations at Uncommon. Uncommon is a job discovery platform, and we help candidates find their next position. We do this by predicting what their success zone looks like. So we take their past experience, we take the experience of over 100 million other people, and we match that all together with their preferences to show them what areas can they be successful in. And then based off of those areas and positions, what companies have open jobs that would match that expertise, that would be a likely next move for them. And then the final step is we get them in front of those companies so that way companies apply to them, which is very nice, I think, as a job seeker. So I'm going to demo the product. The demo is going to be only about 5 minutes because it's very fast. Our product manager built a very, very succinct flow, which is good. And to kind of show you what it looks like and get some feedback. So I'm going to use your background. So I'm going to put down your current position is iOS developer at Infosys. So quickly, you have the option to, off the bat, when you come to Uncommon, upload your resume or browse jobs. So for this particular demo, we're going to just browse jobs using just this information, which obviously is not your entire background. Okay. So you'll notice that on the screen immediately you'll see all the immediate possible next positions that Emphy might be a good fit for. So why don't you tell me what you like?
What am I selecting, on this side or this side?
So on the left-hand side, you can see some preferences. Do you like to think creatively? Do you like to do some data analysis? Do you like to make decisions? You told me you really like to do that. So it started to rearrange some of the results that you would see for your likely next positions.
Okay. So as you move the slider, do the check areas here?
Yes, so they change. Let's say I move this all the way to the left.
Oh, even the values.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to select all of these, some of these?
Now, where are these other things on the right coming from? Like,
Great question. Great question. So based off of what you had entered as your prior skill, a whole bunch of different qualities associated with that skill, and if you had uploaded your entire resume, it would have been based off of your last couple of positions. A whole bunch of position qualities have popped up. So let's say you worked as an iOS developer, so a lot of what comes into play in that type of position are things like data analysis, working independently, making decisions, collaborating, or perhaps if you want to be more of an individual contributor and maybe not as involved on a Scrum team, which might be part of how working as an iOS developer might look like at certain companies. As you customize your preferences, it will start to change the positions that you see and then later also your results. Make sense? Okay. So for some likely next steps, we've pre-selected 6. You can select all of them, but that'll create a very broad and long list for you. Are there some positions you want to include, exclude?
Probably not web developer.
Okay, so we'll get rid of web developer.
Not technology.
Okay. So you'll notice that the results that you're seeing here on the left, they're similar, but they're still distinctly different. So a technology analyst is not an iOS engineer, right? But we try to basically, these are on the back end, these are clusters of different types of positions. So they're all similar in some way, but they're not identical to each other. Okay, anything else?
The grayed out section, can I pick from?
Yeah, It's like a unlimited shopping cart at Amazon, and you have a credit card with an unlimited budget.
Okay, and
Some different areas that maybe aren't your immediate experience, related to your immediate experience, but still people have successfully transitioned into these types of positions.
but my resume is not going to say these things.
True, that is true. So you haven't actually uploaded your resume yet. If you had uploaded your resume, maybe the results would be slightly different. And as we go through the flow, I'll demo that. But people that are or have been iOS software engineers have transitioned into these positions. So there is an overlap in these types of skills. Keep going?
Yeah,
All right.
let's hit next.
Let's hit
See
next.
where it goes.
All right. So you'll see over here on the left, all of your preferences that you've selected are shown. Now you can add additional preferences and watch as the open positions from real companies on the right will update. These are literally, this is a customized results bucket on the right. So let's start to add some more information about what you want from their hypothetical position and see what happens on the right. So by default, we're in Santa Clara, so that is the location that you have selected. Is there anything else you would like to show here?
Palo Alto.
All right. You don't mind commuting a little bit. How far do you want to commute? San Francisco?
Yeah, we only have 212. Let's see what San Francisco.
Okay. So you can also exclude companies, and by default, any of your immediate prior companies, actually, if you uploaded your resume, all your prior companies will be excluded. In this case, it'll just be your last company, because who wants to apply to their current company? That's awkward. All right, so you'll notice here on the right, these are all real positions. And I'll quickly I can go through a couple of demos of completely different roles to see how these results change. But for you, here are some recommendations. So we have Amazon, we have Yahoo. We have a recruiter from Yahoo, so.
These are real right now?
These are real positions. You can look at the job description. You can also remove them if you don't want to apply to Groupon at all. And you have an option, right?
To do that, Groupon's a friend of ours.
Sorry, we'd love, add back. We don't have that feature yet. There's only eliminate.
Whoa.
Yeah, all right.
No, you can uncheck.
Uncheck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, there we go.
Cool.
They're back. So you literally can keep going here and go through and see some of the results. These are real positions. And what's unique about this is if you go into any normal job search, like it could take you hours to find something that not only matches your resume, I mean in this case it's just your current role and company, but the information that we gather just from your current role and company, I mean think about it, it's all the experience that comes with that role, plus that company. Like what does that company do? What types of other iOS engineers are there? Where did they go? Like that's a lot of data that we've calculated to produce these results. And so the results that you see are really unique to you as an individual, and it will open up, maybe, show to you some opportunities you've never considered. Even though you've probably considered Groupon since they're a friend, maybe some other companies you haven't considered. And positions. So, if you wanted to continue and hit next, you'll be prompted to sign up. At that point, since you haven't uploaded your resume yet, you would upload your resume, and then we would get you in front of that entire list of companies.
When you say get in front, what does that mean?
So we will reach out to those companies on your behalf. Some of them have signed up with us already, others have not. And the recruiters at those companies that are recruiting for those positions will get your resume or your profile.
But you said others have signed it, others have not. So if they have not, they wouldn't get my...
No, they would still get them. So we have a database of about 9 million companies, and some companies are signed up, they're using the other side of the product, which is the recruiter side of the product, and other companies, essentially will be applying on your behalf.
So I don't have to go to their website and create an account?
If you want, you can do that, but I don't know if you decide to go this route, it may not be the best use of your time. Yeah. And then what you do is you sit back and you wait, and when a company is interested in you, they will reach out to you, and you will get an introduction, and that's it. We are out of the picture after that.
So you send them their resume that someone has uploaded?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and that's why Carl, his advice is that resume, if you want to upload here, it's got to be so darn good that they'll call you back the minute they see it.
So at this point, you already all have perfect resumes, and then you come here and you create your profile and you start to apply for hundreds of jobs. Yeah.
We have a volunteer?
So do we have a volunteer? Do we have somebody who's maybe not an iOS developer? I mean, we could do another one, but I think it's cool to see how the results can look very different too. I wish I could resize this, because you can, yeah. All right, anyway. Don't all volunteer at once. The enthusiasm in this room is just like pulsating.
Designer,
Okay, designer.
graphic designer, something.
Graphic designer, okay. At what company?
Oracle.
Oracle? Corporation, labs?
Corporation.
Okay. All right, let me move this over. So, let's see, why don't you tell me what you like to do?
Thinking creatively,
You like thinking creatively all the way?
yes.
Okay. So I'd say the top positions are stayed the same, but some of the bottom ones move. Keep going, sorry.
Making decisions,
All the way?
yes.
Okay, that's good.
Working independently, slightly, not all the way.
Okay, so you like other people sometimes, but sometimes not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scroll down, scroll down.
Collaborating.
No, I don't want.
Okay, so you like to work independently, you don't like to collaborate. This is very unique.
No, I'm just playing with your...
Yeah, okay, fair. We'll leave it there. So do you want to deselect any of these positions?
Yes, senior technical editor, you can be selected.
Okay.
That's good.
Everything else good. Do you want to add a few more?
Lead artist,
Lead artist, okay.
CEO.
CEO. So you have to remember, this is based over 100 million transitions. If we see a CEO job on here, I'll apply my, I'm just kidding, I will not apply my boss for that job, but. Okay, so you'll notice, or off the bat, the results are different. The companies that you're seeing here are different. Interesting. Okay, let's add some positions. So we have Santa Clara. Do you like San Francisco? Do you want to remove Santa Clara?
Yes, San Francisco.
Do you want to keep
Yes.
Santa Clara? Okay. Full-time, part-time.
Contract and full-time.
Okay. Do you want to remove any of these companies?
That's fine, but I'm trying to see the most of the, topmost search are graphic design, senior graphic design. That sounds good. No CEO.
No.
Yeah, overall it's good.
Yeah? Nice. Well, that's good to hear. So what's really cool, and I'll tell you a couple of real life stories if I have a second. Yeah? Okay. So we've had people like from such different backgrounds use the product. So I've had somebody that's a Staples consultant log in. She does like consulting at the store level, regionally, log in, and her recommendations, because I could see all of her results, were things like Black & Decker, Office Max, all in the same realm, like maybe a step up, kind of to the side. She had selected to stay in her area, like of expertise, which was in like a sales consultant type of position, and she ended up getting interview offers from Black & Decker and OfficeMax, which is just crazy. The predictions were on point, like logically speaking. And then we've had, let's see, we've had a chef use this, which was really interesting. And the results are just so different for every single person, and I think that's what makes it so special. It takes this job search process, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, like I've searched for a job before, you feel like a number, and it makes it a little bit more personal. And it helps kind of guide you through it. So hopefully if you're looking for a job, or even if you're not looking for a job, you just want to play around, you come and check it out. If you have any issues, we are in beta. We've only been live for 3 weeks, and actually just the other day, one of our first candidates, a software engineer, got an offer and accepted. So we're celebrating that this week. Yay. That's why I'm here. We're all celebrating. Everyone here is celebrating. But yeah, please go check it out. If you have any issues, reach out to support at uncommon.co. And it's uncommon.co. CO, like uncommon company, you're uncommon, and yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Are you guys hiring?
Great question. So we actually did just fill a couple of positions, but we're going to keep growing. So if we show up here, there's a very good chance. Yeah. Any other questions?
So you don't have to take the trouble of applying at all.